Hi. So, I, my apologies in advance if you hear, loudness coming from another room. My parents are watching football. They get really into it. I personally don't see the appeal. I don't know how one, just stares at a screen for hours. I don't know anyone else who does that. I don't get it. Anyway, so, um, movie I watched was, depending on who you ask, just called Dracula or Horror of Dracula. Um, the assignment was to watch any of the Hammer horror films, of which I've seen none. It's like British versions of the Universal monster movies, and he would think, since I haven't seen any, I would just logically start with the first one that came out, um, which I believe was Kirkenstein. But for years I had heard of the legend of Christopher Lee's Dracula performance, so I wanted to check that out. And I actually really like this movie. Um, don't know how to compare it to other versions of Dracula. I think I don't know. I don't know how to decide if I like Lee better or um, Bela Lugosi in the 1930s film. Um, do you think Lugosi had a bit more of a charisma, just kind of a quiet menace, whereas what I really liked about Lee was he actually felt like a really threatening monster. Like he doesn't. There's nothing just quiet or subtle about his Dracula. He's just always on the prowl, always after somebody, and he never he never rests. I mean, other than vampires have to rest at certain intervals, but outside of that, he's just always on the prowl, like just completely obsessed with finding new people to suck their blood. And yeah, so I guess just depends on which type of villain you prefer, I guess. But I really liked Lee. At first I wasn't really sure about him because in the first scene he doesn't really act like Dracula. He just comes in and talks like a normal guy wearing a cape, and I didn't think like he doesn't have the presence or the menace that Bela Lugosi or even Max Schreck as Nosferatu had. But then the first scene where we see him go vampire mode, pretty much from then on, um, Lee is just crap your pants scary. Yeah, Sir Christopher Lee, that guy could act. He could play a villain, and you know, people my age have seen him, I'm sure, in Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, and you know, he can, he can take a not that great movie like Star Wars: Attack of the Clones and elevate it by playing a very cool, charismatic villain, Count Dooku, and he does the same here. Uh, Not saying this movie would have been bad without him, but he definitely is a lot of what's good. Um, what else I liked was I like the production design of the castle. I really like the architecture and the just the aesthetic of it in general. The music I really liked. It's pretty much what you would expect. In a Dracula horror movie music. It gives you what you think it'll be. I did have a little bit of an issue adjusting to some of the sound mixing at times, like some of the sounds in like when they're moving stuff around in the room, or when somebody's speaking. Even it didn't sound a little off, I guess. But it didn't. It was only a problem like toward the beginning for me. I didn't really notice it too much after. Um, Another performance I really like in the movie is Peter Cushing as Dr. Van Helsing, Dracula's nemesis. If again, Star Wars. People my age know him from Star Wars: A New Hope as Grand Moff Tarkin. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed his performance because as Van Helsing, like he's completely straight to the point. He's completely no nonsense. When he tells somebody to do something that could protect them from Dracula, he makes you know he doesn't waste time trying to sugarcoat anything. He's just like, if you don't do exactly as I say, you will freaking die. And yeah, so that proves to be an effective performance, even if people don't listen to him as much as they should. And I don't know. I guess what I like about it was, um, I don't know. The Lugosi one may have been technically a better made movie. I really do like the atmosphere in that with the black and white and the shadows and everything, but I don't know. Like when I was younger and I would imagine a Dracula movie, this movie is probably closer to what I would expect than the other one. Because, just Dracula constantly on the hunt, people trying not to die and trying to figure out how to get rid of him. And, just, the suspense is pretty much all throughout the movie. And, it's a pretty short movie too. It's only 81 minutes and pretty much, once you start watching it, it gets right to the suspense and doesn't really stop. And the other one is kind of slower, which isn't a bad thing, but, if you just really want to see Dracula, just being Dracula and the battle that goes on, then this is probably the one for you. And I don't know which one I would say is better, but this one is probably the one that I would sooner rewatch. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I don't know what I expected, just kind of a lesser version of the Lugosi one, I guess, which some could argue it is, but I don't know. I like the approach this took. It just keeps you in the suspense with the Dracula and all that, and it just gives you the stuff you came to see and keeps you there throughout the 81-minute runtime. So I really enjoy it for that. Yeah. So for a rating, for now it's a 4 out of 5 for now. I could see it going up to 4.5, maybe even 5 on a rewatch. For now, it's a 4. I definitely recommend it. I think it's fantastic. It makes me want to check out the other films in the Hammer canon. The next assignment is to watch a Universal movie, but at some point I do want to explore the Hammer collection because this movie just far exceeded my expectations. Was everything I wanted out of a Dracula movie, pretty much. And so, yeah, yeah, go watch it if you haven't. It's on HBO Max. That's where I watched it. So, and it won't take you that long to watch. So, yeah, just do yourself a favor and go watch that. Bye.